We are strange creatures. We spend our lives learning how to be kind to everyone except the one person we spend every second with, ourselves. Think about it. When a friend makes a mistake, you understand. You tell them they're human. You remind them that nobody is perfect. But when you make the same mistake, the voice in your head becomes ruthless. Suddenly, one failure is proof that you're not good enough. One rejection becomes evidence that something is wrong with you. One bad day feels like a reflection of your entire life. Somehow, we become the judge, jury, and executioner of our own existence. And the strangest part is that most of us don't even notice we're doing it. Self-criticism becomes background noise, so constant, so familiar, that it starts to feel like truth. Yet, if you look closely, a disturbing pattern begins to emerge. Most people dislike something about themselves: their appearance, their intelligence, their personality, their achievements. Many feel as though they are behind in life, as though everyone else received a map they somehow missed. But here's where things become fascinating. In one study, participants were asked to rate the attractiveness of different voice recordings. Hidden among the samples was their own voice. The result? Most people rated their own voice more positively than the voices of strangers. The catch was they didn't know it was theirs. The moment people recognized their own voice, their judgment became harsher. The voice hadn't changed, only the ownership had. Which reveals something unsettling. We don't merely evaluate ourselves differently. We often reject ourselves by default. Why? The answer lies deep inside the architecture of the human mind. For thousands of years, survival depended on noticing danger more than opportunity. Missing a beautiful sunset carried no consequence. Missing a predator hiding in the bushes could be fatal. As a result, our brains evolved to prioritize negative information. Bad experiences stay longer. Criticism echoes louder. Failures leave deeper scars than successes leave rewards. Psychologists call this the negativity bias. It's why losing $10 feels worse than finding $10 feels good. It's why one insult can erase the emotional impact of 10 compliments. And nowhere is this bias more powerful than in the way we see ourselves. Because humans didn't just need food and shelter to survive, we needed belonging. For most of history, being rejected by the tribe wasn't emotionally painful, it was dangerous. Isolation often meant death. So our minds became highly sensitive to anything that might threaten acceptance. We learned to monitor ourselves constantly. Am I attractive enough, successful enough, smart enough, worthy enough? And over time, this survival mechanism transformed into something else entirely, a relentless search for flaws. Then modern culture made it worse. From an early age, many of us are taught a subtle lesson. Love is something you earn. Approval is something you earn. Respect is something you earn. Reach the standard and you are worthy. Fall short and you are not. Without realizing it, we begin treating ourselves like a project that must be fixed before it deserves compassion. And eventually, a gap forms inside us. A gap between who we are, who we want to be, and who we believe others expect us to become. Psychologists call this self-discrepancy. The larger that gap grows, the more shame, anxiety, and self-hatred begin to fill the space. The problem is that the finish line keeps moving. No matter how much you improve, there is always another flaw to fix, another achievement to chase, another reason to believe you are still not enough. But what if the problem was never you? What if the standards themselves were impossible? What if you've been measuring yourself with a ruler that no human could ever satisfy? The solution isn't becoming perfect. It's changing the perspective from which you see yourself. Imagine speaking to yourself the way you speak to someone you genuinely care about. Imagine offering yourself the same patience you offer a friend, the same forgiveness, the same understanding. Because the truth is simple. You were never meant to live under constant judgment. You were never meant to earn your right to exist. And perhaps the most radical thing you can do is stop treating yourself like an enemy. The moment you begin seeing yourself through the same compassionate lens you use for others, something unexpected happens. The impossible standards lose their authority. The endless criticism loses its voice. And the walls you've spent years building around yourself don't collapse. They simply stop making sense.